It's immensely disturbing that once again the attacker was known to have terrorist links. He was previously convicted 27 times and he had grenades at his apartment. Why are we seeing incidents like this happen again and again in France?
Well, first of all, I would intervene and say we don't really have facts that he had terrorist links, and I would also be very careful calling this terrorism as of just right now, because I can't really see a political or ideological motive as of right now. I can only see 27 convictions, a vast criminal background, and this is more or less criminology 101 that. Violent background often is a very good, predictor to future violent crimes. So I would be careful as, calling this terrorism related already.
There have actually been reports, and I don't know whether you have any confirmation on this for the time being, that the shooter had close links to radical Islamist groups in one of the areas, one of the neighborhoods of Strasbourg. Do you have any information on that?
I personally do not have information of that, because I don't have the links to the DGSE or other security services. But if that's the case, then obviously we can talk about terrorism. But just almost 24 hours after this has happened, I basically see a criminal, yes, and if there is links to terrorism, then that's what it is. And as you rightly said, we've seen this over and over, and the Christmas market obviously would be a preferred choice of target for such people.
Well, of course, we know that he was radicalized in prison. This is something that we've heard from various French officials this Wednesday.
As I said, if that's the case, then that is the case. I just have not gotten the information yet.
That's not a problem. Now, some observers have been speculating that the Strasbourg attack is what's being referred to as a false flag attack. Do you agree with that assessment?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I'm not a fan of any conspiracy theorists. I'm not on that side of the story. I've heard about people from the Gilets jaunes also claiming that would be the case, but no, I'm opposed to that.
And lastly, I want to focus on the security element here. Do you think that at this point in time, France is more vulnerable because of these ongoing anti-government riots that we've had across the country? In a way, some are saying that our security forces are somewhat exhausted and overworked, and perhaps they weren't on their highest alert when this happened.
I'm sure they have been on the highest alert, and I've spoken to somebody who was there last night, and I talked to him about the security measures in place at the Christmas market and in Strasbourg as a whole, and he said, there's, compared to the last years, there's increased checkpoints and police and sentinel soldiers on the streets. And I doubt that more could have been done. At the end of the day, we don't want the Christmas market to be an airport where you need to put in X-ray scanners to detect every single thing. But from what I've heard, backpacks have been checked for possible IEDs, for bombs, and I doubt that more could have been done. And if you talk about a possible exhaustion from the law enforcement or the police, when you look into the whole Fichier S problem, you have about 25,000 people on this, and this is exactly the problem. It's very hard to narrow down the factors and threats from individuals. It's much better approach, if you ask me, to look into the environment that these kinds of people are in and tackle those, because that is something that can be observed and detected.
Dennis Wecker, they're saying he